الرحيم waxaa caawa sharaf weyn inoo ah dhammaanteen inaynu halka kala soo qayb galno xafladaynu ku soo dhaweynayno Senate and new Senate to be and Zaynab Mohamed, Washington, and waxaana inoogu soo wareejinayaa qof walba dad meelo badan baa laga yimid dad badan baa soo shaqeeyay dad badan baa meel arrimahooda weekendka baaqijiyay si halka uga soo qayb galaan marka horta dhammaantiin anoo ku hadlaya ninkaa iga gaaban oo meesha dhexe taagan magaciisa aad iyo aad baad u mahadsan tihiin aad iyo aad baad u mahadsan tihiin barnaamijkana waxaan ku wareejinayaa cabdiqani oo inoo wadaya
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أنا بقول هذا شالية واشنطن metropolitan area وحن كسر دوية حفلة أو أي واشنطن metropolitan أي أقابتي زينب محمد وأترتمسا state senator Minnesota district number 63. program ayaanu idin soo diyaarinay programkaasu maasha Allah sidan uu isu daba socon doonaa marka hore waxaanu ku bilaabi doonaa aayadaha quraanka waxaanu ku xajin doonaa Somali American candidates iyo dadkii guulaha ka soo hooyay inay noqdaan senators iyo inay noqdaan congressmen guulo waaweyn ay ka soo hooyeen maasha Allah waxaana ugu badan dumarka ayaana hormood ka ah taasuna waxay ku tusaysaa doorka ay dumarku ku leeyihiin inay siyaasadda ka qayb galaan meel kastana ka qayb galaan marka anigoo aabba ah waxaan idinku dardaarmayaa aabbayaasha ha la soo koolkooliyo ha la soo wado dumarka iyo gabdhaha sababtoo ah iyaga ayaa ah coping mechanism leh iyaga ayaana wax kasta xamila maasha Allah haddana waxaan rabaa inaan kusoo dhaweeyo adeer maxamuud cabdinuur oo inoo akhrin doona aayadaha quraanka adeer soo dhawo maxamuud
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا رب السماوات والأرض لا يؤمنون به أحدا.
صدق الله العظيم جزاك الله خير أدير محمود مركلة وأيدين مهد علينا إياه طبعا وحانا لجوغا dad badan oo runtii nagu leh sharaf number 1 aan ka bilaabo wasiirkeenii hore wasiir xalane oo halkaa fadhiya maasha Allah ambassador Dayib oo aad ogtihiin inuu Washington ka yahay. I also want to welcome Carol Van Batten. Carol Van Batten, he is a great friend of Somali people. He's working with us and he's attending this kind of events. So welcome, Carol. haddana waxaan rabnaa inaanu program ku saabsan Somali American candidateska dadka runtii guulo fiican ka soo hooyay dhinaca siyaasadda ayaanu rabnaa inaanu xoogaa idinla qaybsanno maasha Allah waad ogtihiin dee Ilhaan Cumar oo runtii state gobolka Minnesota 50 district congressional oo hadda inoo fadhida congress waad ogtihiin from 2017 to 2019 ayay soo gashay maasha Allah taasina waxay ku tusaysaa hadda waddankeena markuu abaartu ka dilaacday Ilhaan boqolaal meelood ayay ka sheegtay abaartaas in si degdeg ah wax looga qabto taasina waxay ku tusaysaa muhiimadda ay leedahay qof Soomaaliyeed inuu inoogu jiro siyaasadda oo mindida daabkeeda hayo ما شاء الله وأوتين ديغدلا وحي يدنا South Portland أي هذا ماير كتاهي ويترتمسها. She's running for main house district number 120 وحينا لها فرصة عالية أو في عن South عبالة ما تتكلم. No one is running against her. ما شاء الله ديغدلا. وحكون حكتو قبل ما شاء الله ما نعبدي ويدنا أقول ترتمسها house district number 95 and وأركتان she's running unopposed. كان معنيه وعباد لما ترتمسوا ما شاء الله ونوجد أن سوفر محارة دمر مبارك سومان. Again ما شاء الله منيرة عبد الله ويكوبول is the House District Ohio number 9 and she has a good chance in the winning أبياش وحنا كوبول بابنا again and again وهذا كان أبنو ماشي كجارين سياسته مركا يا لوكال هارين هذا نوحنا ملينا يا ما شاء الله إسماعيل محمد وكوبول is the Ohio District number 3 سونا chance عادي في عنا يوليه. ما شاء الله سنة عمر فارح already واستوى من Minnesota State District. دو هو بدي يقول ما شاء الله سونا دوا سياسي هذا السوكرية سياسته وحيكون في عنتها هي ما هذا أضيع نوع كلا إنه كسوق ولا صومان وحيكون في عنتها هي you have to start early مركا عاديرتها هي وحد مركا تكون بلادو you become واحد نقول state district واحد نقول كوبيرة أما Democratic Party أما Republican Party مركز هوست مركز كسب بلاد أيه في عنده ما شاء الله. and سيدا أبو أركتان ملف في عن أيه كجاري ذاتك الصوماليات الصوماليات ملك أيه لقى شيء يا ما ندرك عن لقى سنة أكيد عملين إنه foreign minister ككينيا وهو كشيء كيني يقولي هاي Somali دوال أركتين سيدا يوجد يقولوا وين يوجد مركا كينيان ويمكن أن كدر Somali وحن وقول Somali إنه يهين دم كودي هربا ما شاء الله في الفرعون ولا شيء. Again advertisement for Somalis and حتى أنا وحن ربا كنتي election cycle وصوص هذا and قبلنا Zaynab Mohamed. We welcome you to Washington D.C. I know you have a great chance. All of us are welcoming you. I guess you can see we're a small community, yet it's not the quantity that matters, it's the quality that matters. And حتى لو احنا ربعنا نكسر دويو and Arun Chowdhury or I want to welcome Arun Chowdhury, who is the campaign manager for Zaynab Mohamed. She will be discussing the campaign update, and she will also be giving us the background of Zaynab. Welcome, Arun.
Can you hear me? Okay, assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for welcoming us here to Washington, D.C. and Virginia. It means a lot to us. Again, my name is Arun Chowdhury. I'm the campaign manager for Zaynab Mohamed for Senate. So let's give it up for I want to just start off by sharing just a little bit of a personal story about how I met Zaynab. So we both live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I met her in 2020 when there were so many things happening in our community around the election, COVID-19, jobs, economy, and we were both organizing, and I met this incredible young Somali woman who I related to deeply, and I found a deep sisterhood in. I'm a daughter of immigrants and a Muslim American as well. My family is from Bangladesh. And so watching someone like Zaynab run and also take so much leadership in our community, for me personally, was very inspirational as a young woman. And I have watched as she has embarked on this journey to run for Senate, inspiring thousands and thousands of young people, young brown and black people, young Somali people, not just in Minnesota, yes, but across the country. We launched our campaign, Zaynab's campaign for Senate in December, when we found out in the end of November that the senator, Patricia Torres Rey, who was the first Latina to represent Minnesota in the Senate, decided to retire. And she asked me and a bunch of other trusted people if she should run. And we're like, absolutely, you should run. It is time for you. The Senate has never seen a Somali woman before, has never seen a Muslim woman before, has never seen a black woman before. So she is making history, and she is changing the state of Minnesota, and we've been seeing it every single day. So I know that you said that this is a small community, but this room is packed, and it means so much to see every single one of you supporting her, because she has been running since December, and now we are about 45 days away from Election Day, and so we are so close, and we are, inshallah, going to elect Zaynab to Senate.
Yeah.
I think a few other things for you to know about what's happening in Minnesota is right now, we are in a moment of healing as much of the rest of the country. Things that are really important to Zaynab that we've been talking to a lot of people about. She's knocked over 13,000 doors alone. Is jobs, economy, supporting our small business owners, supporting immigrant communities, the Somali community, the Latino community, the Oromo community in Minneapolis, and she's been doing that. And also, I want to emphasize this, she is going to be the youngest person in Minnesota history to represent the Senate. And again, that's really inspiring because it's so important to invest in our youth, and she's just sparking a change across generations for how important it is. And so after we leave Virginia, we're going to actually go right away, just like the hard worker that she is, go door knock and talk to voters. So having this support here, it really does show up for us in Minneapolis. And if you ever visit Minnesota, please come find Zaynab, come find me. We would love to host you, and we'd love to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you very much. haddana waxaan rabaa inaan soo dhaweeyo Kamaal Maxamuud oo ka hadli doona historyga iyo historyga walaasheen gabadheena Zaynab Mohamed. Kamaal, soo dhawow.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مرة واحدة إلى دماتي بيدي مهل عليو. مرة واحدة من دماتي بيدي مهل عليو. إن أنا قبل وقت بشرح حفلنا. It really means a lot to me. And community in Washington D.C. I know basically everybody. Of course, the one for Joga is a friend and a family. مرة ما حسنتين. I already know. I also know Carl. Carl, welcome. And nice to meet you. Zaynab Mohamed. Achieve ويان. Zaynab waxaa suuqaya marisay 2005. Zaynab actually she's part of Washington Metropolitan. Waayo waxay ka timid waxay kusoo degtay Dallas Airport. So in 2005, Mohamed Noor aabaheed baa soo waayay wuxuu reerka baa imanaya Kamaal oo ka soo qaaday airport ko soo gudbay. So Zaynab iyo familygeeda siddeed qof bay ahaayeen. At that time she was 8 years old. So the first time I met Zaynab, she was 4 years old. Yeah, she was 12 years old. Okay, Zaynab waxay ku dhalatay Soomaaliya, gobolka Sanaag, magaalada Ceelgaabo. Tacliinteedii hore primary schoolka waxay kasoo bilowday Ceelgaabo, Somalia, and she immigrated to the United States at the age of 8 years old. Tacliinteedii schoolka dhexe iyo iskuulka secondary-ga labadaba waxay ka qaadatay Minneapolis, waxay kaloo ka graduate University of Minnesota, Bachelor's of Arts, right? First degree. Zaynab waxay usoo shaqaysay Council Minnesota, community activist, waxay ahayd director of Council of American Islamic Relations, CARE Minnesota, one of the largest civil rights organizations in the United States. In the state of Minnesota. She advocates for Muslims and Somalis, and so she's really great. Zaynab hadda waxay u shaqaysaa council member Jason Chaffis ay u tahay policy analyst. So basically wuxuu qaabsantahay arrimaha siyaasadda, policyga, you know, and community-ga, and she's great in a doorata inay iyadu noqoto moogta inay u shaqeyn lahayd qof senator ama inay iyadu noqoto senator. Zaynab waxay ku guuleysatay primarygeedii back in August, right? With 68% of the vote. Marka she will be the first Muslim and black woman and the youngest woman to serve in the Minnesota State Senate. So that's good. Why? Mahawa Sir Mahalaka, Mahawanisa, Mahawa Arabti, Yosha Ganisa. District 63 go how 81,000 or almost close to 82,000. And that I have in district as I can have to Mahawa Ganisa, Mahawa constituent service. Focused about Baba Lagaba, Mahamusanayo, I'm a girl who talk about here. Happy scale is going to be, you know. Yes, she's responsible for 82,000. And what I want to without any delays in the course of the way, send them, community
English fine? Okay, I feel like Virginia speaks English a lot more anyway. It's good to be here with all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, Zaynab Mohamed. It's good to be here with all of you. I'm so happy to be here in Virginia. You know, when I was talking to Adab Kamal a few weeks ago, and he was like, you should come to Minnesota, you should come to Virginia. I was kind of thinking about what it would be like here, what the community would be like, and I was kind of reflecting back on why I decided to run for office, why I decided to like embark on this journey. And you know, a lot of people know this, my journey is intertwined a lot with my brother Fatah, who is currently representing Minnesota, who's from here in your community. And you know, I was in politics before that, and I kind of had an interest in policy, but not necessarily the political aspect of running for office or being a public figure. But I was really interested in policy and analyzing how policies can reflect our lives and make our lives better. And so my current senator retired back in December. The seat opened up, and so I started to get calls and text messages and phone calls that I should run. And I was like, no, that's insane. I will not do it. But I did it, and the reason I did it is because of the fact that there is so many disparities in our government system, especially for our communities, for Somali people, for Black people, for everyone across the board. And I wanted to be a part of a government that creates systems that makes our lives a little bit easier and not harder. And so that's kind of the message of our campaign. That's what we started to run on. And what that meant was, you know, we know how the government can show up for us during a global crisis when there's a pandemic and you know, an uprising in our city. And we know that it can give us health care. We know that they show up and they take care of our small businesses. But what about those of us who live in that crisis every day of our lives and not just the pandemic? And so we decided to kind of write our policies, talk to people every day. And over time, people kind of related to our story, related to my story of coming here to America, related to my story of being a young girl who grew up in South Minneapolis, who is a part of this community, who fought for this community. And I deeply care about South Minneapolis. But I really care about people who look like me across the board in making sure that we are not only talked about at the table or spoken of or reflected upon, but that we do have a seat at the table and that our community is able to create those policies that are reflective of us, of our values, of who we are, of what we want to stand for. And so I'm running on a platform of obviously fully funding our healthcare system and making sure that your healthcare is not tied to your job or your mom or your family, but that you do get it because it's simply a human aspect. And that you as a human being should be respected for who you are and should be taken care of simply because you're a human being, and not on the basis of political views that we have. And so, you know, I obviously got the support of my family and my friends and our community, and we won our primary with 68%, even though we had a challenger, somebody who was from our community who challenged us in May. People related more to our story. People wanted somebody who is reflective of our community to represent us, to speak about us. And so to be quite honest with you, running for office is hard and it's a long road, but we're almost done. And the reason I did it and why it feels really good and why I am proud of the fact that we are gonna win, inshallah, come November, and we're gonna make history, is not because we're gonna make history. It's because it's our community that's gonna be at that table. There have been so many people who asked me to run, who've been a part of my story. Obviously, my other Kamal is a part of my story since day one in America. I had my first burger when I came here because of him. So I know it sounds funny, but I really did. And I tell everyone, and so he's intertwined and a part of my story, and he's watched me grow up and be a part of this community, and he knows what I'm gonna do. And so I hope you all feel a part of what this moment means, what this year means for our community, not because so many of us are gonna be elected, but so many of us who are gonna create policies that are gonna make your lives a little bit easier, are gonna be elected. And I hope that you not only are a part of this tonight, but you continue being a part of my story, of our story. You continue showing up for us. And I hope that you get involved here in Virginia and you get 1 or 2 people elected. This is, you know, come on, let's do it, you guys. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, and thank you for organizing this, and thank you for coming on a Saturday night when you could be doing 10 million things. Adi ada umahatan tahay, ada real, ada umahatan ti, ada So wali waktu hadla, bigmana hama kertaan dale hada. No, lakin adi ada umahatan ti, ina isku timaadeen. oo inaad aan ii taageertaan dhinac taagan tihiin adeerayaashii baa tihiin aad iyo aan ugu faraxsanahay inaad idin rabto of course madam iyo eedayaal thank you aad ugu mahadsantihiin inaa maanta dhan cuntada ku garaysaan women are the backbone of our community. They really are. Alhamdulillah. I come from a strong mother who raised me, and I know what our mothers do. I know that I'm in this because women were the first people who stood by me and who continue to stand by me. So thank you for doing this. And thank you so much, Adar Ma'an. Ada umahadsantahay. Aad iyo aad aan ku faraxsanahay.
Okay,
mahadsanid Zaynab mar kale dadka halkan isugu yimid Virginia oo kaliya ma ahan waa Washington metropolitan area waxay ka yimaadeen Maryland waxay ka yimaadeen Washington iyo Virginia waa ka yimaadeen marka sida ay sheegtay Zaynab waad aragtaan siyaasaddu waxay ku fiican tahay inaad bilowdo marka aad yar tahay waad aragtaan sida ay u abaabulan tahay waad aragtaan sida ay diyaar u tahay not only inay ka hadlayso policyga iyo inay qofku uu table markaa fadhiyo waxay ka hadlaysaa waxay khuseeyaan Soomaalida ayay khuseeyaan hadda waa qofkii markii dhibaato qofka Soomaalida ay ka qabsato anywhere qofkii u tegi lahaa weeye marka Zaynab mar kale welcome waxaan malaynayaa haddana walaalkeen Kamal baa inoo sharaf gareyn doona qofkii kale runtii raba inuu few words yiraahdo they can always welcome to say few words and Kamal, are you setting up?
Yeah.
Absolutely. wasiir xalane aad iyo aad baa lagu rabaa inaad hadasho sababtoo ah
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم mahadsantihiin gabadheena da-da yar ee aqoon-yahanada hadalkeedaaba na deeqay insha allah way guuleysan doontaa hadday guuleysatana way caddahay communitiga ay ka socotay inay wax tarayso way caddahay waalidu waxay dhihi jireen anaa haday looma hadleen maxaa haday baa loo hadlay hadalkii labadii gabdhood ee inoo yimid baa dambeeyey innaga waxaynala gudboon gabadhu waxay u baahan tahay waan ognahay qoladii codayn lahayd ma nihin inaan taageero xagga dhaqaalaha ka taageero qola saaxiibada meesha waxaa isugu jiraa laba qolo siyaasadda taqaana iyo sida loo maaliyo qolo oo maalgelisa waynala joogaan oon ku dayan doono qolo jeebku looga hoostiisa kaga yaalo oo aan gaadhinna way jiraan waxaan rajaynaynaa inay kor usoo yara qaadaan gabadhaa yare xidigta ay soo baxday ee halkan inoogu timid aan dhegaysanayna khudbadeeda ayadoo faraxsan aan dib ugu aanina minnesota intaas
mahadsanid wasiir xalane haddana waxaa rabaa inaan u yeero ambasador dayib soo dhawow adigana in lagu maqlo
السلام عليكم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته waxaan rabaa marka hore inaan ilaahu mahad celiyo sukaan keena xafladan quruxda badan marka labaad inaan walaashay gabadhan adeer ku ahay inaan soo dhaweeyo oo ku soo dhaweeyo Washington anigu waxaan ahay Washingtonian for long time laakiin hadda waa ka baxsanahay meel kale aan ka joogaa laakiin waa magaaladayda runtii noloshayda inta badan aan ku noolaa waa soo dhaweynaya walaashay warka waxaa dhameeyey wasiir xalane waxaan leeyahay soo dhawow ku soo dhawow jaaliyadaadii Soomaaliyeed ee deganeed Washington metropolitan area haddee waxaan leenahay barbarkay ka baxda waa bakeela qaleen gabdhaheen waxaan leeyahay guuleysta sida walaalkii u sheegay ninkooday ka hadlayay meeshan uu ku yiri gabdhaha waa badan yihiin weli waxaan arkayay gabar kale oo Soomaaliyeed oo Maryland BG ka cararaysa iyadana waxaan leenahay iyadana mataqaan ilaahay ha guuleeyo waxaan leeyahay guuleyso waana guuleysanaysaa insha Allah mahadsantiin
mahadsanid ambassador dayib waa runtii in fact gabadh kale ayaa iyaduna ka tartamaysa Maryland waxaan kaloo ogaaday gabadh kale iyaduna ka tartamaysa Washington Seattle again gabadh baa tartamaysa Soomaali masha Allah Kamal soo dhawow I think adaan noo bilaabay malaynaya
Okay.
We want to welcome Carol Van Batten. Absolutely, Carol. Welcome to Washington.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Thank you. First of all, I'm sorry, I'm missing a tooth. I'm having surgery, so ignore my tooth. It's an honor to be here. I love Somalis. I mean, I began to work with the Somali people about 2 years ago, and I see us family. And I tell my wife this, in Africa we have 3 ancient cultures. We have the Somali, the Ethiopians, and the Egyptians. And unfortunately, the Somalis have had no voice in DC. Unfortunately. The Egyptians have money, they push the lobbies. Ethiopians have money, they push the issues. But Somalia has been through war and had no voice. Now that's changing. You are a powerful people, and your time has come. And this is to the candidate runner, I hope she's saying, I can't see her. But if you're here, I want you to please promise to fight for Somalis in Minnesota. I work with the Somali Alliance in Minnesota, and the person they told me that in Minnesota, Somali people with business get scrutinized. They check you for fraud, they check you for different things, they're always getting checked. Because they're Somalis. It's pure racism. There's no one fighting for Somalia. African Americans have fighters. The Jews have fighters. The whites have fighters. We need people to fight for Somali and Somalians. So when you become Inshallah, when you become the senator from Minnesota, make sure you fight for Somalia. Go into the house and says, what is your problem? How can I help you? You are a servant of the people. That is your job. You are a servant. Go to the church mosque and say, how can I help you? You know, and I'll leave with this small thing. I'm a Republican, but I will fight for Somalians any day, anytime, anywhere. I don't care if you are a Democrat, I don't care if you're white. If you have something good for Somalia, I will work with you. I'll support you, I'll give you money, I'll argue in Congress, I'll yell and I'll scream and I'll kick the down doors for Somalia and Somalians. Barack Obama made one mistake. When he became president, he was so scared of being the black president that he was focused on being the nice president and did almost nothing for Africa. Nothing. Do not be ashamed to be the Somali senator. Don't be afraid. You are Somali. Fight for Somalia. Fight for the Somalis. Do not be afraid. Do not be ashamed. There are people trying to destroy your homeland. Here in Congress, there are people who don't care about you. You have nothing to lose. The Jews have the most powerful lobbying group in America because they come together. Forget your clans, forget your tribe, you're Somali, we are black. Fight, and never stop fighting. Inshallah, Somalia is back. Somalia is back. In everywhere you go to, when you walk into that hall in Congress and the Senate, anywhere, be proud, be proud. I'm Somali, I'm Somalia. I'm from an ancient people. When the British were running around with paint in their face, who are building empires in Somalia. Don't forget who you are. So, Ms. Senator, please, my last word, when you go back to Minnesota and you win, fight for Somalia.
Thank you very much, Carl. Really, Carl has been working with us for almost a year. He is a great guy. He works with the United Somali Alliance, and he is really opening doors for us. Dadka Soomaalida ayuu runtii aad uga caawiyaa waxyaabaha ku saabsan Congress-ka, State Department-ka, waa nin lobbyist ah, runtii aad iyo aad noola shaqeeya, saa loola socdo, runtii kaarkiisa hala qaato. Haddana waxaan rabaa inaan walaalkii Aweys u yeero. Aweys soo dhawow.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على النبي أشرف المرسلين. السلام عليكم. You know how I وزير حلال ما يوصل كذي. So I don't understand. how I but I'm gonna give him ما هي أو شمنت كذا. الحمد كحيل هذا أرم حاجودا استوس. We can talk all day long, but right now what Gabadena Ubahantai is a cash flow button. So tonight, get your hand in your pocket. Credit card, check, cash, we take everything. We are not a small community. We are the stronger community because Kabilka, Kashingan, Kuturena, and we fight as a Somalia, as my friend Carol said. I'm working with my friend for many years, and I made a decision to myself. No tribe will stop me to fight for the name of Somalia. So let's elect our people now, and right now, come on. It's okay. The game is over. Let's get the cash flow for this game. Let's do it now. Let's do it. Get your one. Let's go.